The 1996 draft class gave us some of the best players of the 90s, but besides Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson, who is the third best player in that class? Today we're going to talk about the player that I think might be the third most important player to come out of the 96 draft class. Let's get right into it. Welcome to the most passionate content for card collectors on YouTube and possibly the whole entire internet. As usual, I am your host, Jake Roy, 90s B-Ball Cards here on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, occasionally a little bit of TikTok, as I've got time for that. So, today we're going to talk about Stephon Marbury. I'm going to show you the top 10 cards of his in my PC. So like I said, I think that Stephon Marbury might be the number 3 most important player in the 96 draft class. I think fighting for that spot, you've got Ray Allen, who's got championships, you've got Steve Nash, who's got MVPs, and then you've got Stephon Marbury, who had a prolific career both in the NBA, numerous all-star appearances, great teams, a lot of great highlights, but also over in China. And I think that's why that puts him over the top. His career in China and his impact over there on basketball was immense. And he's got a lot of great collectors that like him because of his time that they remember when he was in China. So I think that he is a very important player, but also he was a lot of fun to watch. So I have some great cards that I have some great memories from as a kid. So let's get right into the fire and see what I've got. Alright, so here we go, the top 10 Stephon Marbury, or Starbury as some people like to call him, cards in my PC, and one honorable mention as well. So starting in with number 10, here we've got the 1996 SP. This is the premium collection. Some people will call it the HOLOVIEW as well. So this is from his rookie season, a pretty large checklist, so a lot of big stars. Pretty much if there's a player that played in the 96 that you enjoyed, there's a good chance that they're in this set. Really cool. I mean, premium collection, definitely, you know, you see that nice type of font there. This was definitely an elegant type of design, but also including those great hologram, those holofoil that Upper Deck was known for. You know, that's why they were called HOLOVIEWs at times, but this one, as most of them, almost all of them, have some motion capture in them, really add something really cool. You know, and again, a rookie season card, an insert as well that looks like this, something that definitely got me excited as a kid when I got this. So this one, talking about the value, is about a $5 to $10 card. Nothing too crazy for value, but you know, something that definitely was exciting to hit, and definitely got you going and chasing more if you wanted a bigger player. Obviously the Jordan was a big one, but for me, Penny was the guy I was chasing. I have numerous copies at this point, so that's a fun one for number 10. Number 9, 99-2000 SKYBOX NBA Hoops. We've got the Dunk Mob. So here he's with the Nets. Great career with the Nets. A lot of fun watching him with some of those teams there before he got traded for Jason Kidd. But, you know, one of the things that he was known for is when he got to the rim, you know, he could definitely elevate and get to the rim and do some exciting stuff. So these were one per box, to my recollection. And, you know, this was one that I saw pictures of in the Beckett for the checklist that I always really wanted for that exact reason. This and the Vince Carter were the two that I really sought after, and now I've got both of them in my collection. So really cool one there. $10 for this card. So you know, something that was as rare as this, $10 really seems like a steal. And you know, some really cool players, some really great pictures. I love when you've got a dunk themed set that actually have pictures of the players dunking. That's something that can be a little bit of a pet peeve of mine at times, but that is number 9. Number 8. Here, you might be a little bit confused because we are seeing Brevin Knight, but this is the 98-99 Topps East-West, and this is the refractor version. So Brevin, and we get Stephon on the back. So you have the East player on the front and the West player on the back. There are a lot of cards where you might wish that the West player was on the front, and I think that this is definitely one of those. So, you know, obviously we're highlighting Stephon here, but if you are a Brevin collector, this is a card that, you know, you might be trying to get after and having to pay up a little bit more than you'd like because of Stephon being on it. So this is about a $15 card, mainly due to the fact that you've got Stephon on there, but gotta love that refractor finish on both sides. Plays great with the colors. Love how they have the blue and the red. So definitely something that is really interesting because that's how they had the most of the all-star teams. The East would be blue and the West would be red. So cool stuff from the 90s there. A little bit of trip down memory lane. Next one we've got here, we've got the 1997 Bowman's Best. This is the Best Cuts Atomic Refractor. So just a very eye-catching card. I mean, these are gorgeous. You've also got the laser cut in there as well as the refractor finish. So the laser cut, you know, kind of had some random sized squares taken out of it. You've got that kind of checkerboard, that kind of I don't know, an interesting geometric checkerboard in the background. Just a very visually, you know, a very 90s, you know, kind of chaotic in some ways, the design here for this one. But this was is about a $20 card. Very rare, very hard to hit. Some big players. Stephon was definitely very exciting there in his second year if you got this card. But 20 bucks for this one right now, roughly. Next one we've got here, continuing with the refractor theme, 1999 Topps Chrome Refractor. So, you know, the base set refractor, and this is a set that has taken off. I remember probably season 1 or 2 of the channel here, we were opening up some of these packs, and at that point they were very inexpensive. And after that, pretty soon after, I should say, the Kobe started to take off. A lot of interest generated in Kobe generated interest in the set. Boxes started taking off, and the rest of the cards as well. So right now, this one, I believe last I saw, is about a $20 to $30 card. I'll try and look at comps to make sure that we're accurate on that, but about $20 to $30 for a base refractor of Stephon is definitely something I'm pretty excited about, because I pulled this when I was a kid, and at that point, none of my friends wanted to trade for it. So now that might be a different story if, you know, going back in time. Next on the list, we have got 98.99 Skybox Premium That's Jam of Marbury. So a cool one here. This is a set that has also taken off and gotten a ton of interest, especially for the biggest stars in the set like Kobe and Iverson and KG and Penny and the like. So interesting thing too, they always had 3 different flavors, if you will, of the jam. So the idea here for the design was a Smucker's jar of jelly. So you had grape, strawberry, and orange or marmalade. So the grape was an interesting choice, I think, sometimes with what flavors they would use. I would think that grape would really pair well for the Lakers, but you know, for Kobe they use strawberry. So an interesting thing there. I don't think there's really necessarily a flavor that pairs well for the Timberwolves colors, but I guess purple if you're gonna pick one. I guess. So that's one of those interesting things. Again, me nerding out a little bit on some of those design choices, but really cool cards, very popular, very fun with the theming there. So for the That's Jam, this is about a $30 card right now for Marbury, which is great, because I remember when I was picking up the pennies, which are now about 90, they were about $30 at that time. So kind of interesting how some of those prices have just moved right along to next player, right? Next one, starting to get some exciting stuff here. 96.97 Skybox Premium Golden Touch. So this is a rookie year insert. Something I definitely love is when you get a rookie year insert of players. And this is a very cool one, very hard to hit, very rare. One of those that I wish that there was a penny of, but there's not. You know, but a great checklist, and you know, having some rookies in that set like Stephon Marbury and Iverson definitely adds a lot of fun to the chase of this set. So this one right now is about a $40 to $50 card last I saw. Again, don't come up terribly often. Condition can be very crucial for these, because with all the die cuts and all the foil, you know, it's very easy to see if you've got some edge or corner issues here, as well as any surface issues. So something that I'll double check comps on regularly on these, just to be sure I know exactly what it is if I get an offer that comes through. So really cool one there. I think we're at number 4 now with that. Next one, I think we're at number 3 here. We have got the 99-2000 FLAIR Showcase Fresh Ink. So a really cool on-card auto, something that we knew and loved from the SKYBOX company with their autographic set, and a lot of other companies started to get on that bandwagon as well. So at this point, FLAIR and SKYBOX had come together, and they decided to get autographs that were on-card autos in just about every set that they had. So the Fresh Ink was the FLAIR version at that point, and really cool, really hard to hit these. And I think that this design really looked very nice, very clean look for an autograph for sure, in my opinion. So the Fresh Ink right now, from what I've seen, is about a $60 card for Marbury. All right, number 2, this one I love. So we have got the NBA Hoops Prime Twine of Marbury. So an incredibly intricate die cut. These are also serial numbered if you flip them over on the back to 500. But for how infrequently these show up, it seems like they're probably less than 500. So an interesting checklist. You don't have some of the big names like Jordan and Kobe and the like, but you do have Marbury, you've got Rodman, you've got Iverson as some of the bigger name players. Die cuts can get very difficult. You know, you can see here you get the leg sticking out, so that's something that can definitely get damaged very easily. Sometimes guys like Eddie Jones got kind of part of their face cut off towards the top of the card, which is, you know, kind of something that bothers me a little bit for the design of these. You can see Stephon, if you get the centering right on them, sometimes a little bit of his forehead is missing. So, you know, again, a lot of die cuts and a lot of laser cuts, but really cool looking cards, just absolutely gorgeous. Iverson's definitely a big chase of mine that I'd love to get, but until then, I've got the Marbury to keep me company. So this one right now is about $100 card last I saw, but again, they don't come up terribly often. So when they do, they definitely generate quite a bit of interest. Before we get to the number one card, one honorable mention. So we're going to go with the 96 Topps Chrome Youthquake. So we know the Topps Chrome set from 96 is extraordinarily sought after and collectible. This was an insert set that also came in that same set that doesn't get quite as much in terms of value. I think that it would have been really cool, especially visually, but also in terms of collectability if there was a refractor parallel to the set, but there isn't. So here we've got the rookie year insert from Chrome of Marbury, and this one is worth about the same as the premium collection, you know, maybe a little bit less, but about $5 to $10. Typically a little bit closer to the $5 mark than the $10 mark, but centering is definitely a key on this, as well as greening, but we don't see greening as much for whatever reason it seems on these, and I'm not sure what the reason for that is, but I enjoy seeing this without his face completely hulked out. So that is the honorable mention. Before we get to the number one card here, $98.99 Topps Gold Label. This is the red label. So we've talked about gold label, black labels, and this being the red label, the most hard to get, but also the easiest to tell the difference. So you see up there on the top right, that label is very distinctly red. So when you pull that out of the pack, you're definitely going to notice that, or at least you should. I hope that's not something you're going to miss, because it is striking difference from the gold if you've seen the golds, especially if you're opening up a full box and you're getting multiple. But the other thing on the back that is easier to miss is it's serial numbered to 100, but the serial numbering did not have any foil on it, so it was just stamped into the card. So if you're looking at one on eBay, you might not be able to see the serial numbering. Sometimes sellers know that it's very key to see the serial numbering, so they'll zoom in on that and get it from, you know, a good angle with good lighting and stuff. But definitely something to be on the lookout for to see, because you know, if somebody doesn't know to zoom in on that, it might be a crucial piece that you are looking for, you know, especially if it's not graded or something. So really cool stuff, very rare, very hard to find. I don't really have any PC players in this set, so you know, getting a guy like Marbury, who I really enjoyed, was something fun when I was able to pick this up. Again, with them just being numbered to 100, they are not a card that you're going to see for sale terribly often. So I'm ballparking the value on this. So I mean, you could put the Prime Twine number one and I wouldn't be offended. But I'll look at Card Ladder and see if we can get some of the predictive pricing, or if there's a comp that I haven't seen yet. But I think the ballpark for this is about $200 to $300. But again, if one shows up for auction, it would be very interesting for me to watch to see what that goes for. And maybe there's one that's come up that I've missed, but I'll flash it up there in case.
Alright, so that's the top 10 in my PC of Stephon Marbury. It's really fun for me to put some of these lists together, because some of these cards, like I said, aren't cards that are in sets with PC players of mine, so I go after other guys, and sometimes this is a good opportunity to share some of that stuff that I don't share publicly a lot. So kind of a fun little thing. I hope you enjoy that. Let me know if there are other players that you would like to see top 10s of in my collection, that maybe I've got some really rare stuff, or really stuff that isn't seen too often, that I don't get a chance to share on either Instagram or on these videos. So let me know that down in the comments. But the question of the day for you, we talked about, I think Stephon Marbury is probably the number 3 most important player in this draft class, but it is an incredibly star-studded draft class. So let me know down in the comments your top 5 from the 96 draft class. I think I can probably slate in 1 and 2 for most people, if not everybody. But let me know. I want to see who rounds out your top 5 and how you would rank them. So I did say who I think are kind of the 3 players vying for number 3. So you could have those guys rounding out your top 5. But maybe there's another guy that I overlooked or that you think deserves a spot. So I want to hear from you down in the comments. I'm really interested to hear the answers that you've got for this one. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss any videos in the future. New videos dropping once, sometimes twice a week. We look into my PC, crack open 90s packs, occasional collector interviews, and so much more. Thanks.